Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. Proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. This is More Than Just a Podcast. Season 13, Episode 13. Unlucky for some. There you go. There's your title. Boom. And tonight, it's not a full house. I won't lie. George, I don't know what George is doing, but he's not available tonight. He's a bit of a wheeler dealer now. He's a big flyer in the city, so he joins when he can. Hey, John.
Oh dear, that's the first I've heard of it, but yeah.
He's a big flyer in the city.
We can go with that if you want.
Yeah. John's here. His
Hello.
father. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at home talking to yous.
And we're grateful you are.
That's good.
Yeah. Canning Town Len.
Hello.
Where are you? What you's doing?
I'm in front of a painting, but I'm watching it dry, doing a podcast with you. Which are both unrelated.
I'm sure there's nothing, watching
no-
paint dry, listening
Nah.
to this podcast,
Yeah.
hard decision there.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a cheery podcast after
Oh, you'd be
losing 4-1.
surprised.
Oh, spoiler alert. So we are expecting Shedman, a.k.a. Nigel. He has gone to Plymouth and he's just sent us an update. He's stuck on the Dartford crossing. Do you know why he went to Plymouth? Can I tell you a story? It's not a football story.
Go on.
So he's been working in Plymouth and he works in the security business, yeah?
Mm.
And this security system stopped working. So, I work in IT. He did the old thing, have you tried turning it on and off again? So he travelled all the way to Plymouth. I don't know how many miles that is. Does anyone know? How many hours?
No.
Don't know about
And what do you reckon he found when he got there?
what
John.
you found.
Yeah.
Software broke down.
Someone had turned something off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Someone
back
turned
on.
the switch off on the extension lead. So he got in there, he pressed the button on for the extension lead, and it started working again. And he's driven all the way back again.
Mm.
There you go.
Cool
Ka-ching.
story, bro.
Yeah, cool story, bro. But anyway, it's not a driving and security installation podcast. It is a football podcast, and we're here to talk about West Ham and football.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about security and driving.
I know how you feel. John, let's start with you. We've only got one game to discuss because we've obviously been on an international break.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them games either.
No, me neither, but I was away. We went to Villa Park and we didn't come off too good. They'd been 10 games unbeaten at Villa Park at home, and we helped make it 11. What went wrong, John?
There's your excuses already, like you're
Yeah.
backing it up.
Yeah, get the excuse in early. Can't have
What
been
went
David
wrong?
Moyes' fault, can it?
Well, no, it's not David Moyes' fault. It's the Moyes when we win, and it's the players' fault when we lose.
I'm glad we agree.
Well, that's
Really
your
good idea.
line.
Oh, you don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that. That's your line and the other member of this podcast. What went wrong? What was the problem with our game? We were bloody useless, and they were better than us. And yeah,
It's
it was-
odd, I said something similar when I was on Talk TV on Sunday night after not watching the game, and I just thought, well, bad day at the office. What is there to say?
Well, it's just like
we didn't turn up. We didn't give a good performance, and beyond, and I think these are your words, Paquetá trying to begin with, no one really put a shift in, did they?
well, no, it just. I mean, I don't know the ins and out of the Villa squad, but we looked like we had a squad of players that have just been all around the world and just got back the night before, and looked like they couldn't really be asked.
How many
We
of our
had-
players did go on international duty? I mean, obviously,
Who Villa's?
no, of
Our players.
players.
Well, you know,
versus
you
their
just-
players.
I mean, look, Antonio, was he away with Jamaica? I think he was.
Was he? I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean that seems like a pointless exercise, for whatever reason he does that for.
Yeah.
But you know, he wasn't there. He might as well played with 10 men with him up front, especially for the first half. I mean, they're all talking in this last international break about James Ward-Prowse missing out. Well, he didn't help himself.
He didn't, did he?
He was really poor for the first half. But then there's an argument to say that, you know, they were talking about this setup at the beginning of the game was that Ward-Prowse was sitting back and Souček was being pushed forward. You had Paquetá moved over to the left to accommodate this. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. You don't need... Like James Ward-Prowse is not a defensive midfielder.
No, he's not.
So maybe that's why he was out of sorts. Maybe that's why he had such a bad game. But
Well, I watched it again today, John, which is my new habit.
yeah,
I didn't notice how bad Ward-Prowse was until I watched it again. And he was playing deep. And just to compound it, Alvarez was awful as well. Then second half, it looked like JWP moved forward. He wasn't a lot better. But
No.
you're right. It's a little bit of a shambles in the midfield. It's almost like people playing rush number 10 and all over the place. And I did say I liked it. The fluidity. I can't remember if it was the Newcastle game or the Sheffield United game. I noticed it was a bit more fluid in midfield. People just changing positions. I liked it. It didn't work at all against Villa, did it?
no.
I mean, they went at us one man to man and they won every battle, other than Bayern, possibly. We
Yeah.
just...
I mean, for spells at the beginning, I mean, Paquetá was, you know, doing his usual. I mean, that stat came up, wasn't it? He's provided the most, like, through balls or whatever, and the most tackles than any player in the Premier League so far or whatever. So, I mean, you can see it. He's non-stop. He goes at it. He tackles hard. But it looked to me like he was out of sorts but it looked to me like he'd had enough of it by the end of it.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, we were talking briefly before we started, me and Sean, just talking about what we're saying about all the games and, you know, we've won this and we've done that. And the fact that Moyes hasn't changed the starting lineup for 5 straight games.
Well, let me... That's a good point, because I wrote this down while I was watching it. If you look at the last... I thought it was 6, and hear me out here. So the last game, Villa and Newcastle, so one home, one away. They're both teams that are around us. Sheffield, United and Luton Town, one home, one away, teams inferior to us. Liverpool and Man City, home and away, teams superior to us. Played the same way and the same
starting
every
lineup.
fucking game.
So what does that tell
We
you
did
about
tell-
our
well-
manager?
Well,
That,
it tells
you know,
you that you can't give him any credit for any tactical nous. Because if he doesn't think that these need different approaches, then how can you give him any credit?
Yeah.
if you don't, if you put the same starting lineup and the same way of playing against them, all those
Yeah.
different types of teams, you know, at what point, you know, will you see a change? It's just, there's no. We all would, you know, we know what we've all agreed that we've got Moyes for the season. Loads of people would want him for more, and that we get moaned at if you complain about Moyes because, you know, we win games here and there. What can we expect? Why should we expect better? All this sort of crap. But to stamp them sort of things when you see that, you know, the way Kudos finished the game the other week, for him not to start, it just, you can say pace, you can say power, Souček power, defensive, but, you know, we're not great defensively. We're not. We give up possession. Areola's like the top of the saves in the Premier League.
Says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you give up so much possession and you get against better teams, what's happened up to now is that we know at Chelsea they were better than us. They couldn't finish. We finished. You know, Brighton again. We done them on the counter and we had the attempts and scored our attempts. But that can't happen for the rest of the season. You give up that much possession and you've got these teams coming at you, shooting, making goal attempts, and the keeper can't save them all the time, we're going to get done.
Yeah.
Something, you would imagine, you would think that the manager would think, well, let's change the approach a bit.
Well, of course, he has to do that in Europe, and it works, and he looks like a better manager in Europe. I think he comes
Well, that's
to the
because
Premier League.
that's because he changes the
He
squad
has to
about.
make a change. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Comes to
did
the Premier
notice, I was
League.
looking at the international friendlies. Alvarez was in the US playing lots of different friendlies, including Kudos was in the US. So actually Mexico played Ghana in a friendly bit.
Yeah,
Pointless.
they look like
So they could be jet lagged, you know.
they look like they were, half
It
of
could
them.
be.
They were. They
But
look
Alvarez
knackered.
has been a key, and I think if his game's not all sorts, that could have
He
knocked
wasn't
us
very
out of
good.
sorts.
He wasn't
Terrible.
very good.
Benny was away on the international duty. Obviously, didn't start. Mavropanos was away, didn't start. Saeed Benrahma, Suchet, Sufal, Areola, Agurd, and Bowen all on international duty. So we did have a lot on international duty. It wasn't like
So
everyone.
what
had a
about
rest.
Antonio? Did he go on the
No, he
international
didn't.
duty?
No, he didn't. What's his excuse? Although I do know, and I told you at the time, guys, he had a late fitness test. So it was a bit of touch and go whether he started because he had a late fitness test. He's carrying an injury.
But
Who's
Um, Antonio.
Antonio.
He was. Kudos was going to probably start, and it was a late decision. He had a late fitness test. Literally, they only made the call about 90 minutes before the game,
Why would you sort of?
and maybe it was a wrong decision. You know.
But he just again that he does this all the time as well. It's like last season when Suchet was so out of sorts and so bad, yet he picks and picks and picks him. I mean, Antonio's had like 5 games now with hardly any involvement in the games or any positive product. And what is the point of having like a Mubama on the pit on the bench? When is that lad going to get a chance? Now you give him a chance when you play Luton. You give him a chance when you play Sheffield United. Surely,
Yeah.
and you take an out of form player, sit him on his arse for a couple of games.
Not mine.
Can I ask a football question? Because I've got a mission to make. I really found it difficult. I came back on Saturday from Turkey, and I went to Oxford on Sunday, and I was trying to watch the my stepdaughter was driving because she's got a driving test soon, so I was in charge of the car, obviously. So I was watching it and watching the road at the same time on a phone. So I didn't really watch the game.
No.
I saw the first goal, right, because we were pulled over at the time. I saw that we were just caught napping on the first goal. I think was it about the halfway out point, but I didn't see why they awarded the penalty and whether it was a penalty on 52. Can someone tell me what happened there?
Yeah, it was a soft penalty, but yeah, it probably was.
It was a
it?
penalty.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who was responsible?
Alvaro
Alvarez
Paquetá.
made the.
Oh, was it?
Paquetá played the ball back.
Passed the ball back to Alvarez. Alvarez didn't have it in him today to control the ball.
It wasn't
And,
a great ball back either. Though. It was all
just
very
shambles.
sloppy.
It was all very lax.
But if Moyes can get into Paquetá enough, maybe Paquetá won't play that ball back and he'll just lump it long up pitch for us.
And I sort of I saw the goal, so the Bayern goal, which is good, and I thought, oh, we might turn this around.
Well, that was
now.
a lucky goal, though, wasn't it?
It was a bit lucky, but goals can change games, and I thought maybe it will turn and we can nick a.
Well, we did have a
equaliser.
good sort of 10 minutes after that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But then, obviously, I must admit, when I saw the third one, I was home by then to watch the third one go in. I was making roast dinner. I saw when Watkins scored on 74. I went, I lost interest then. I thought, this is only going one way. I didn't even see the last goal. Was it Bailey on 90 or 89 or something?
Well, he kind of just sat a gird on his arse, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, done him.
Well, let me do a stat attack, because I know you love them, right? Villa had 58%, meaning West Ham had 42%, just as we like it. Villa had 15 shots, 7 on target. We had 14 shots, 4 on target. They had 8 corners to our 7. Didn't do much for the corners, obviously. We fouled 15 times to their 8. I know you've been talking for the last few minutes Len, anything else to add about the game? Because I know you
Uh,
watched it again today, so
yeah,
I'm hoping you're giving some real insight and tactical
right.
nous.
I've got made little notes down that I've
Oh,
stuck to
good.
my easel.
Yeah,
I've
oh,
gone
good.
through that one. Souček's just a bit of a mystery. Started off playing number 10 first half, then trying to just join the defence in the second half. I'm not sure if that's instruction or what, but it does make you wonder. I mean, if you're choosing Souček as your number 10 with all them players in the squad, I mean, let's
But
not
then
go there.
it's just sacrifice Paquetá
Well,
the way he does. It's
the
just
funny thing about it was it's almost like you get sort of the second half, people go into sort of the positions you expect them to do, and there's no fucking better. I just can't get to the bottom of it. We lost every one-on-one battle. I mean, what Alvarez and Antonio both passed the ball out of play twice. Cafel's out of his depth now.
he's just getting torn apart week in, week out, isn't he?
He's just, I mean, oh God. Emerson suspended against Everton. And if he
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You coming Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to meet up at the ABBA bar?
We'll see what my train's
Where
like.
are we going to Waterloo?
See what my train's like.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. There was, I mean, I did try and...
You liked it, really, didn't you? You wait till you missed the ABBA crowd. If the ABBA crowd in there, it's really rocking.
No, they're noisy bastards.
Anyways, probably not a lot else to say about the game.
But there
because
weren't,
it was
no.
pretty dire. Bad day at the office, and yeah.
Let's just say it. I mean, the substitutions.
Bowen's 100th career goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Is it really?
And sort of like it's a New York record, wasn't it, for scoring away from home? Was it 4 or 5 games on the trot he scored?
I think, yeah.
Is it?
5 or 6, I think.
When I was talking to the Villa fan, they think they're going to finish top 5 and get in the Champions League.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like Newcastle last season, some of these teams, they get on a good run and it doesn't know there's any stopping them. They believe it and it happens.
Well, they're above
With us,
Newcastle.
we get on a good run. Oh yeah, we're going to play Liverpool. Let's not change the way we play. Let's be attacking. Sit back. End of that run. Sink right down the table.
Well, you say that, but look where
happens.
Chelsea are. Chelsea is still behind us on 12 points, right? We're 2 points ahead of them. Man United are just 1 point ahead of us. So, I sort of get what they say. Man United and Chelsea really don't look in the running again this season.
Well, Chelsea have just won their sort of second or third game on the trot, haven't they? I know they drew, didn't they, the weekend? But,
City and Arsenal on the same points on 21, and Liverpool and Spurs on 21 point behind them. So
you look at Villa, what's happened there, and managers don't win games, bad players do. But the manager's come in after Gerrard, and he's taken virtually the same group of players.
Yeah,
and they are a lot better.
As I mentioned, do you remember David Sullivan turned down Emery?
Yeah.
I can't say exactly what he said, but one of them is he didn't speak English, and the other one was he was a bit. What can I say politely? He's a bit eccentric. That's the word I'm going to use.
Right. Well,
who cares?
He's extremely successful in Spanish football, and he takes a team like ours, like Villa, and makes them successful. So, he didn't do so well at Arsenal, but I think he's come over with a point to prove, and I think he's starting to prove it.
Yeah. Anyway, as long as we don't embarrass ourselves against Everton, who only look like they're going one way this season, I think all's fair. We'll see where we go. But you're very much in the camp that it's the players, not the manager. So would you say that? Let's talk about that. I mean, obviously, I agree with you, by the way, that maybe you should have changed things up against Aston Villa. But on paper, it's the strongest team we've got, right? You could say start Kudos instead of Antonio, but you got Thursday as well. That was probably the strongest team you have. You could tinker a little bit with it. The players have to take some responsibility. And Nigel did send me a quote from Brian Craft, which I completely,
which you ally with.
which I sort of do that, but the manager has to, substitutions. I wish he would make substitutions a little bit earlier. But yeah, so this is the quote: "Players lose your games, not tactics. There's so much crap talked about tactics by people who barely know how to win at dominoes." Brian Clough. I sort of get that, but equally, could he have changed it a bit earlier? He tends to leave it too late and makes the wrong substitutions. I mean, who did he take off and then put on Fornells?
Yeah,
Did he bring on Ings? I
possibly
can't
not.
remember if he brought on
He
Ings.
took Antonio off and put 4 nails on. I mean, you just wonder why.
I mean, it just someone who actually agrees with that quote. I need someone to explain to me what the tactics were behind his midfield formation on Sunday.
Here's his substitution. So he put on Kudos for Souček on 67. He brought on Ings on 18-6. Game was over by then for Paquetá, maybe resting him. And at 90 minutes, he brought on 4 nails for Antonio. Like that was going to change the game at that point. I don't know. Maybe they're on some money. Anyway, a little bit of news for you. I mean, there's not been a lot of news because I've been away, but I've been told, and I've been writing lately or even tweeting because I've been holidaying. It's not a full conclusion for David Moyes that he won't automatically be given a contract this winter. That the board haven't forgot that we flirted with relegation last season. They haven't forgot that he spent a lot of money that didn't come very good. And the jury is still out. And they want to see how he does this season. Now, one of the key points, and I've got to be a bit careful what I say, is he needs to get on with Tim Steidten, right? Wow. And Tim and him need to be a unit and think on the same bit. And I don't think that's always the case over the summer. I'm not sure, without telling tales out of school, how much they agreed on every signing. And I know that it was a new relationship. They were getting to know each other. Tim's done really well over the summer. And he's proved to the board he's a microman. I believe, and this is speculation, not inside information, that Tim has proved himself, and it will be Tim replacing the manager, and given the role to find the manager replacement, if David Moyes doesn't have a good season or is not on the same sheet as the sporting director. Do you get where I'm going with this?
I hope you're right, actually. I hope you're right.
I'm trying to be diplomatic on this.
Well, this is what we'd hope things would happen. The fact that you need to say it is this: we're no ordinary club, and we shouldn't expect that to happen. Yeah. If we do get a sporting director in.
So it's good, and I hear Tim in the early days got very frustrated, and the rumour of him nearly having to walk was not a lie. Let's just say.
Well, I mean, I've heard from people that have played with David Moyes that he's very difficult to get.
He's a very strong-headed person, very stubborn. We know that. I hear that a lot of people have been talking still about Souček, and he hasn't signed a deal. Look, let me tell you now, without a shadow of a doubt, all sources, senior sources, agent sources, etc. He signed a deal at the end of the summer, 7 weeks ago. In fact, on the 1st of September, when the transfer window closed, he signed a new 4-year deal. So I don't know why people keep on going. He hasn't signed a new deal. Souček is here to say on the same day that Antonio signed a deal. And for all the people going, why hasn't it been announced? Why hasn't it been announced? The same reason that Cresswell wasn't announced. We thought Cresswell was coming to the end this summer. And in fact, he'd signed an extension a year before, but it wasn't announced. Some they do, some they don't. And I guess some of it is about what is it in it for them, Announcing Bowen, good news.
Yeah.
To be celebrated. Announcing a long-term extension of Souček, probably a mixed bag. What you're going to get out of it, but I have been assured by more than 3 sources, very good sources, that he signed his contract on the 1st September over 7 weeks ago. So there you go. The only other news story, and I have asked the club about this, and they're being a bit coy about this, is this whole, and you're a local boy, you're a towner, so you might know something about this, Len, the Oakville playing fields saga, where
Right.
there's a petition for, I think they're called Beaconsfield? No, not Beaconsfield, Beacon something. And a number of grassroots football non-league and a couple of cricket clubs play at Oakfield playing fields, which I think is by Ilford. And Redbridge Council want to lease it out, and West Ham have applied. Now, I got messaged by some West Ham fans to say, could I promote a petition that's been signed by 9,000 people saying they don't want West Ham to lease it, they want to keep it for grassroots sports in the local community. There was a protest last Thursday. Over 150 people attended. Didn't do anything because Redbridge Council agreed that they would follow the recommendations from the officers for West Ham to carry on negotiations for a long lease of said playing fields and pavilion. Now, I did ask the club, be remiss of me not to. What's all this about? Oh, it's very early stages. Nothing's decided yet, So that's a big yes then. But I don't know. I don't know enough about this. All I know is a lot of people are very angry and had a static protest about it. Can you give us any local insight?
No.
Oh,
I'm not local. It's Essex. I don't live in Essex. So. But what I do understand, this is what someone brought up week before last.
Oh, it was Adam. It was Adam.
That's right. It was Adam.
It was Adam that first brought it to my attention. Right, on the podcast 2 weeks ago. Hammer's Chat have done an interview, and I think it's for West Ham women, and they're looking. I hear a rumor that it might be they're looking at it for a base of West Ham women, but I don't know whether they could accommodate grassroots football, etc. Do we care? I don't know. Do we? Do you care, Len? Do you care, John?
I care.
Yeah, I don't think it's good to displace grassroots football and cricket for the Premier League training ground or women's team. No.
Didn't we shut people out when we took over for Rush Green again?
I don't know. Did we?
I don't know, mate.
Wasn't it? Was it Grays Athletic that were using Rush Green?
I really don't know.
No idea.
Okay. Oh, it's great. Great podcast talking to you.
Yeah, well, you need Nigel for all that world, don't it?
He's an Essex man, isn't he?
Yeah, he knows all this stuff. But no, I mean, I don't think it's great. But there's reasons I would imagine behind it. Probably money.
Right. Well, all it means is I asked a question about 10 minutes ago. We got 5 comments. This could be a really quick podcast because we're at 28 minutes. So, without further ado, it's time for this. Yeah. Facebook, Twitter question time, where you, the 8 or 9 listeners, get to ask us, the 3 presenters. Might be finished before Nigel even joins.
Actually, that was one of the questions on Twitter. So if he hasn't joined, there's the answer. But that was from Mark Reaper.
Yeah, we're stuck on the M25. Yeah. Have you got them, or do you want me to read them?
I've got them. I can read them out. Yeah. Right, first one. Everyone's mate, Paul Turner. 2 results yesterday. West Ham, one word, and I always like to pick him up on that, was awful, but the other result was Villa banned flags in the away end. Every cloud on that, so Paul don't like the flags.
Why does he not like flags?
Well, he's asking you, what are your thoughts on damn flags?
I have no opinion on flags one way or the other, if I'm honest with you. What were they? Were they pre-Palestine flags, or were they West Ham flags, or what?
It might have been why there were flags were banned. Not that we'd have bought West Ham fans would have brought that in.
No,
but maybe it's just the start of the policy.
Yeah,
maybe you're going to see stuff like that. There's been some. I know Crystal Palace put some flags out about Newcastle. Really quite cheesy, to be honest.
I don't
So
mind flags at the London Stadium and hanging up and etc. But I'm not sure I like the holding flags and in front of people and
Yeah, I'm not.
political messages and all that.
Yeah, mate, but just keep football about football. Take
Paul
flags out.
Turner was came out of retirement to a disco.
I
Disc
wasn't
jockeying.
sure if he'd stopped being a DJ.
Well, I don't know. He was in
He
thing.
did seem to make a song and dance about it. It was in Bethnal Green, wasn't it? Some
Well,
kid's school.
Bethnal Green, yeah, wasn't it at what was the?
He said the name of the school, but it's.
Oh, I thought it was at one of that strip club that used to be in Bethnal Green. What was
You
it
mean
called?
Metropolis? Yeah, I
Metropolis.
remember the name of that.
He
funny
used to
enough,
DJ
but I
at
don't remember
Metropolis.
the name of the
Do you know
school.
what? For one night only, I'm coming out of retirement. I've
To
been
do
asked
what?
by my work to do the Christmas disco at our works outing at a rugby club,
What rugby club?
Wimbledon Rugby Club.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to
Gone
yeah.
downhill, your company, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I know. Do you know what? They were trying to find.
Some of the Christmas do's that you've had and done.
I know, but it's a bit of a. They went, "Oh, do you know how much a DJ is?" And I went, "They went, do you know anyone?" I said, "Well, funny you should say that."
George.
Well, yeah, but they wanted it for free, so I said, they said,
Well,
"Well, we
that's not
want
good,
more
is it?
budget on drink and food," and I went, "Well, okay, yeah, but I could have asked George. You know what? That's what I could have. Is he still do it? Can't
He's
do a
got all the
podcast.
gear.
Yeah, but does he do it?
Well, he's not at the moment much because he's got 2 kids under
Yeah.
the age of 3. But yeah, he can still
Well, if
do
you
it.
want to be
He
my
can-
roadie, John, in December, you can feel free.
Well, I can cross the faders.
Yeah. I have a little bubble machine. Anyway, it's not a DJ podcast.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
And
go
you
on.
talking about DJing's had another 3 questions to
Oh,
the
go on.
voter now.
Carry on.
Right, anyway. Next up, Scotty Crosland. How big is the fine going to be when it inevitably kicks off against Olympiacos?
Ooh,
Brady out.
good
Brady
question.
out.
Did you hear what happened at the weekend?
No,
No.
come on, fill me in.
So there was a big hoo-ha. There was fireworks and trouble, and the game had to be stopped at Olympiacos. So
Right. Do you think this is why we didn't sell out big points that went down to members? Do you think it might have something
I
to do
saw
with it?
that. Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't
I
fancy
think
that.
there is going to be trouble. I mean, I know. Talking of that, they can't even get the names right. Someone sent me a ticket saying they can't even get the people's names right. So you've got all this security
Yeah, it was
checks. Oh, was it you that sent it to
I
me?
sent you. I knew you'd be interested.
Yeah.
They bring her down perch after a fucking win yesterday.
Yeah, here we go. Europe's maddest derby was abandoned after a player was hit by a firework as teammates make stand. It was billed as Europe's maddest derby, and sure enough, Sunday's clash between Olympiacos and Pafli lived up to its reputation. So, the away defender was struck by a firecracker thrown on the pitch by Olympiacos fans. The match was abandoned. Oh no, it was restarted after a delay of 60 minutes. Oh yeah, this looks great, doesn't it?
Roll on Thursday night.
I know.
Roll on Thursday
Anyway.
night. Right, question 3. Keith Beach, Brighton. Evening, gents. Do you feel Villa were just too good for us yesterday, or do you think we need to up our percentage of possession to give us more creativity? And if so, how? What do you guys think? I actually think Villa, they were too good for us, but we didn't really compete with them.
I think player for player, they're no better than us.
And yeah, you're right there.
But I just think they've got an ethos and a better way of playing than we have. And
I think you're right. You've got to change tactic. I know I said what I said earlier from Brian Clough, but do you know what? If you know that they've won 10 on the trot and they're playing counter-attacking football, maybe we should have mixed it up a bit and changed our tactics, because everyone knows how we play. If you're going to beat Villa, you had to probably change the tactics, and we didn't.
No. I would like to think that
Boys out.
I think we should. It's our midfield. He needs to change our midfielder out. We haven't got much options up front. I'd like him to give Mubama the odd game, give him a start here and there when we're playing. You know, this little run we're coming into now, and
Yeah,
sit Antonio on his arse and change the midfield up. Give Souček a sit down and try playing. Let Alvarez be a proper defensive midfielder. Just stay there and let Paquetá and Kudos have a go.
Mm-hmm.
I notice he's doing the same thing with Alvarez that he did with Declan Rice. That he wants to play two holding midfielders.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Well, essentially it was free yesterday, wasn't it? If he was playing James Ward-Prowse
exactly.
as a defensive midfielder. Souček's a defensive midfielder.
See, the 6 players behind the ball, 2 of them out of fucking form. Come on, boys. Take some responsibility. Well, we're done with that question?
Yep.
Because it needs a bit of interaction from Johnny with a David Bowie impression, because you know it's coming up. Dave Jones.
That's a bit of squirrel.
No.
Oh.
Dave Jones.
Beep.
Dave Jones being the real name of
Ziggy
David
Stardust.
Bowie.
David Bowie, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Ziggy plays guitar.
Not bad. That's better. Evening all. Beaten by the better side yesterday, but onwards and upwards. If you were a mastermind, what would be your specialist subject? Brady out. That's
Brady
not a
out.
special subject, that might be mine. I'd be useless in mastermind now because I don't remember anything, do I? Got some kind
What
of
would be your
amnesia.
specialist subject, John?
Probably something to do with boring like work stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm thinking.
It'd be like
The price differential of 4x2 timber from 1962 to 2020.
the bending moment of different sizes of timbers and spans of sort of. Yeah, I know the span table quite well. So,
Iron Maiden, I might be able to do, or some kind of rock band, maybe even Guns N' Roses, but Iron Maiden. All that stuck in, funny enough. Didn't need to, I could just listen to the music.
I could do a little bit about Depeche Mode. I know quite a bit about them.
Yeah. How about you, Shawnee Warney?
Um,
Taste of arsehole.
the financial accounts of the London Stadium reconstruction is probably my specialist subject. The London Legacy Development Corporation finances from the London Olympics through to modern day.
They'll just give you the prize. Don't let us sit for that fucking show.
Yeah, I could tell you. You tell me. I could tell you anything about London Stadium finances.
Oh, you could tell us anything. It wouldn't be fucking right, but you tell us. Anyway, next up, Jason Backhouse. Evening, gent. Man from the 70s, by the way. Evening, gents. So, yesterday's game started brightly for us until Antonio got the ball. Do you think he confuses the opposition for his own team? Well, he mixed up the bench with the fucking own team as well yesterday. That's the only reason I can see why I kept passing the ball to them. Mbama must be wondering what he has to do. Surely it's time for Antonio to warm his arse on the bench. Also, Aguerd got turned inside out for their third goal. He needs a rest too. He's noticing some players out of form. And he's also noticing they're still in the team. Anyway, he continues. How long do you think it will be before Kudus makes noises about not starting games? That's a very good question and quite concerning. And that's on my mind as well. All of that is basically saying, Jason, nothing changes. Out of form players still there.
I agree with him.
Play. Yeah, it's just...
Aguerd could. I mean, Mavropanos
he should.
Good in Europe.
I agree.
Is it time for him to step out and put Aguerd on his arse for a few games?
I would. Certainly Aguerd. I would drop Aguerd and put Mavropanos in.
I'm thinking, I've said it on here a couple of times. He's got to look past that fucking centre-half partnership. I genuinely think Zuma's got 10 more games in him before he completely breaks down. And Aguerd just doesn't look suited to sitting back type of play.
Yeah.
When he looks, when he's got a sort of catching up, and he done the same yesterday, putting a tackle in, late tackle, he's quite good at it. He's very good at it. But you've bought choices, right? And these players haven't let you down yet, so play them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
David
he's just
Moyes for you.
got to swap it about. Put a Gerd plays in Europe. Mavropanos plays in the Premier League. If that's what he's doing, if that's the way he wants to do it, have a swap about. See how they go.
Well, next up is Ryan Doyle. I think we did Ryan on a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember if we gave him a dart Keltai. Taika name. Anyway, I'm just going to carry on. Do you think Moyes will persist with Antonio this season like he did with Souček last season and this season, right? When he should have been dropped? Is it loyalty, stubbornness, stupidity, or the fact he knows his style of play? Antonio is the only one at the club that can do it, which is even more worrying to me.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Antonio is the only player
Yeah,
who can play the way that Moyes needs a
Yeah.
player to play up top.
yeah.
So Moyes ain't going to. Will he change the way he plays, or
Then
will
we
he
change
just
the
keep
fucking
playing?
manager instead.
Will he just keep doing the same thing?
Yeah, he will.
So that's it.
He will do the same thing. It could be quite a depressing podcast. He will play the same way against Everton at home, and if he doesn't get a win, he's sleepwalked into a fucking Moyes out campaign again. Oh, sorry, he has. He's daft. Jack Rush, evening gents. What would be higher, the number of points we get in the league this season, or Mumbama's minutes? KSB out.
Do you know Mumbama?
KSB out.
I don't think Mumbama is that ready. I know he played international duty.
How
He's
do
not.
you know?
What do you mean? I just
How
don't
do you
think-
know? How do
Is
you
it-
know he's
when
not
when
ready?
he's come on?
Don't
I've
play
seen
him.
him play international duty. I've seen him play when he's come on. And we
So
sometimes
why
we do-
is he on the bench?
because I think that he's trying to build his he sees him as one of the future, but I don't think
If he's not ready to play, he shouldn't be on the bench.
he's a different option, John, and because we haven't got any other strikers. Let's be honest.
He's a different option
If we had
than
any
what
other
we've had,
strikers,
which essentially was
Right.
no striker
If
for the
we
whole of the
had-
last game.
yeah. If we had any other striker, right, apart from Ings,
Well, we have
Um,
Ings as a striker.
Yeah, I know, but
You play Ings.
He wouldn't be on the bench. Let's
If
be
you
honest.
play Ings in a system that would suit Ings, he would be performing better than he
Obama
is.
is one for the future. He will not, unless and I think they will sign a striker in January. I don't think he'll even be on the bench after January. Is my view.
Oh.
So I'll go for the more points and minutes on the field.
Well, it's looking that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, next up,
Brady
Dinger,
out.
Stuart Ling. Yeah, I didn't get Brady out.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
I'll get a Brady out
Beep,
for
beep.
Stuart. Evening, gents. Not a question, I know, but thoughts on this head injury rule and the cheating gets abusing it to stop play in their favour, please. Brady out.
Brady out.
Slag. You have to add his little bit on.
Slag. Yeah, that was ridiculous yesterday. And yeah, and I
Just
should
knew
be
it was gonna happen.
that should be a retrospective card for that.
What was that? Sorry, I missed it.
I don't know
People
what the
faking
player
head
was. It was
injury.
Danilo or whatever his name
player.
was.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was, yeah.
Was it Villa player?
Yeah,
there was
had
a
the
tangle.
tussle with, I think it might have been Paqueta. No, it
Well,
wasn't. It was Alvarez.
It was a tangle.
It was the only fucking tackle Alvarez made all day. He went down holding his head, so the ref stopped it.
Having
and
said play on when he went down,
Yeah,
and we
and
came away with the ball.
Even the Scouse fella didn't like that.
The Scouse
But
spitter.
I think the answer is that you knew it was going to happen, and they did nothing about it when they invented the rule, and it will stay there, and it'll be something else that gets on your tits, Stuart. That's
Yeah.
football.
Can I just give you a quote from David Moyes in the Mail about Kudos? Kudus, you're right, Kudus. I'm tempted to start Kudus in every game.
How tempted.
I am tempted to start Kudus in every game, but I have to be fair and say to the team played quite well, and in most games played quite well. Obviously, we have a balance. We're trying to get that right. There have been times where our balance has been very good and got some good results, but now and again, it can sometimes cause you problems as well. I don't know if he's told us anything. So he's tempted to start him every game, but he hasn't.
Yeah.
Thanks, David, for
He
that.
wants to be fair
Good news,
to the
David.
players.
Sullivan's tempted to fucking sack you.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Right, anyway. Next
Bullshit.
up. There he
Yeah.
is. Next up, Grant Coxford, the Boychester Hammer.
Oh, you're on fucking question time already.
We
Yeah,
are,
but
because
you're
one
fucking late,
we
aren't you?
started 50 minutes ago, Nigel. We actually started slightly early, and two, it was not a lot to talk. It was one game, and it was a shit game, so there wasn't a lot to talk about.
How the fuck was it a shit game?
Well, come
Well,
on then.
we'll talk about that in a minute.
No, I want to talk about this now.
Well, no,
why
finish
wasn't
Grant's-
it a shit game?
just
I haven't
finish-
started Grant's
All right,
question
okay,
yet.
go on then.
Let's hear why Nigel thinks it wasn't a shit game.
Yeah. Anyway, Nigel, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm in my living room.
Oh.
Bit half-hearted, wasn't it?
A bit half-hearted. He's
Must
just
have walked
travelled all
past
the
the
way back.
fucking shed.
I've just
You-
done a
you walked past the fucking
560
shed to the
mile
living room.
round journey.
Yeah, well, exactly.
To
I know,
flick
I
a
might
Might as well
switch,
get-
apparently.
While you're doing that, you might
I've
as well
told your
get in the
story as
shed.
well, Nigel.
You what?
I told your story.
What story?
You went that journey to flick a switch.
Yes. Yeah. I chuckled. You can bet I chuckled.
Didn't you just go ka-ching?
If it was ching in my pocket, I might have done, but it weren't.
So
Anyway.
you enjoyed the game then, Nigel?
I don't think it was I don't think we played that bad. I've seen us play worse and get better results. We you know, I've said it before. The third goal really killed us. Everybody has said after we scored, it only looked like we were going to get an equaliser. It looked like we'd nullified them and we'd
Yeah.
woke up. I don't know. You know, it's one of them things. I avoided the internet last night. It was going to be Moyes bashing.
More Antonio bashing, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that's harsh in itself.
I looked at it today. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch.
No, the funny thing is, all the Pacatar fanboys totally
Beep, beep.
miss the fact that the first goal I'd put on him, because he was just walking about and allowed that Douglas
How
Luiz-
often did you used to put him on Di Canio when he played with us?
Di Canio?
Did you used to put all the
Was he
goals
ever
that
in that-
everyone
ever
walked
in-
past him?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I tell you, to be fair to Di Canio, yeah, he played up front. He wouldn't be that far back.
Well, would Trevor Brooking ever be that far back? I don't remember him being that far back ever. So why?
I think Trevor Brooking got back and defended. But hold up, say
Was
it
Di
as you
Canio
see
played
it.
out on the left instead of in his
So
normal
does-
position,
so-
just
so
to
does that
accommodate
mean-
Souček being played up front a bit
Well,
more?
yeah, but he wasn't wide left, was he? He was standing in the middle of the pitch, and the geezer runs past him. Are you
Well, he
telling
was-
me he shouldn't react?
He wasn't
Is
in
that
his
what you're
normal
telling me?
position. No, I'm just
What,
saying.
he was
It's just
standing
like,
in the middle of the pitch. Where is his normal position?
well, he normally plays in the middle, doesn't he?
Well, he was in the middle of the pitch. He wasn't standing out wide left. He was standing in the middle of the pitch on the edge of the penalty area. And the bloke runs past him and he still keeps walking. And he walks as the bloke runs past him. He doesn't flick her. That's not right.
Did you
ain't
watch that
right.
again, Len, today, him do that?
I didn't catch that this time. I did see it the first time. I mean, you're.
I mean, if you want
they're
to, if
all
you want to
fucking
argue
bad.
the first one,
They're
you
all
can't
fucking
argue the
bad.
second one.
But what you're doing is you sort of. What I don't agree with, Nigel, is that you kind of reverse. You're going back from the goal, and then you're finding whoever made the mistake. But
Yeah, but they were obvious though. They were so obvious that actually, you know, sanctimonious as I am
you are.
after a game,
You are. You love it. You can't wait.
Antagonistic, I
you
would
know,
say.
not antagonistic.
No, he's definitely fucking sanctimonious. If you look up sanctimonious in the diary, Nigel's in there.
Well, what Nigel does is if you say it's black, he say, well, it's a dark blue, really.
not really.
Well, no, he's saying, well, it's not that black. Is what
Yeah.
he'd
Yeah.
say.
It's-
He's being a bit
That's
negative.
not
I'd
real.
say it's a
It's
grey.
charcoal.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Is.
And I'll always try and throw it back at him,
when
but,
that
yeah.
even wasn't even considered grey. That was actually blue. That's what he'd say. But I mean, you can't.
No, but
you
it's,
see,
it,
you, but
that's
you go
what I'm
in.
saying.
You said it's
Everybody goes,
yeah, but it's,
"Ah,
but
it's
you
his,
go the
it's
Paqueta
his
fanboys. So
tactics."
you can't help having a dig at the fans again. This is what
Well, no, but it's
you know.
what it is it's the
Yeah,
same
because
people that
but he gives them
slaughter
same people
Moyes.
hope.
Yeah, that
Yeah, because
slaughter.
Moyes doesn't give people hope.
Well,
And Paquetá gives you hope, like you used to do, what you used to love, Di Canio.
yeah,
Moyes
that's
doesn't
right.
give you hope.
I
What you
tell you
didn't
what, I
like
used to
about
slaughter Di Canio when he
Allardyce.
dived about. No, and this is the thing. We're not playing Allardyce football. People can throw
No,
that
we're
at
not
me.
saying that. We're
It's an
just
easy
saying
stick.
people don't like Allardyce and people don't like Moyes. We're not saying why, But what we're
I
saying
just,
is,
after every defeat, the same people rush out, sack him, get rid of him. He's dragging us down. And you're
we'd
thinking,
asked
well,
you.
actually,
Okay,
let's look at the game. What caused the mistakes in the game? Now, there are things I'd lay at Moyes' door, like some of the personnel, like
right,
the fact that we've only got Antonio up front.
right.
Why do you think he played James Ward-Prowse out so back in a defensive role?
I,
To
whether,
just to accommodate
Did you
Souček to
notice he
I
free
was-
him
don't
up.
know whether it was to give him a bit of space. I can't fathom it out. The only thing I think was perhaps it was to give Ward-Prowse a bit of space to start passing the ball a bit better because he's obviously a fantastic
Perhaps
passer
he
of the ball.
just wants to shoot him on the pitch for the set pieces.
Yeah,
Can't
who
see him
knows?
ever replacing Ward-Prowse with a substitute. I can't.
No.
You got to worry about that.
Well, he's there, but at the end of the day, when you are a dead ball specialist, and you're a team that relies on. But the funny thing is, we were good at corners 2-3 years ago. We haven't
Didn't
been
he?
since then. When we had
Yeah.
Dawson, we haven't been since then.
We wasn't good yesterday. We had quite a few corners, didn't we? And
Yeah, and but Villa are you can't Villa are the team. I think a lot of fans think we are.
the Villa are a team, I would say, that player for player
Oh, I
are
would say-
no much better than us. Are just run better.
I don't know. No, 100% they run better. 100%, I think they got a better manager than us.
Yeah,
And
and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
talking
shows.
of-
100%, they got a striker that is young, hungry, and can put the ball in the net.
Who, Ollie Watkins?
Yeah, and we
Who
haven't
we
got
turned
that.
down,
You
didn't we?
want-
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. You said, Nigel, when you was on Mark Sager's show, that your mate had Emery in his office and turned him down, didn't fancy him.
Correct.
It says a lot about your mate, doesn't it?
Well, I thought
Yeah,
that was
wasn't
well known.
Wasn't that before Pellegrini? He went
was,
to
yeah.
he went to his house.
Yeah, he
I
went to his
had
house.
an interview.
I thought we fancied him, but I didn't know. I assumed
No, he
that
went. He
turned
went
us
to the
down.
mansion. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I thought he turned us down.
No,
as well.
other way round. I'm told.
What do you think
Well, what
of
a
the
bell end he is then. Fucking
What do you think of
Sullivan.
the thing we talked about earlier, Nigel? Was that Moyes has picked the same 11 now for like 5 consecutive games, and then you look at the opposition, yet he plays the same team, the same tactics. Do you not find that a bit
I mean,
weird?
look, we
So the team that loses to Liverpool and whatever, and then but
No, not really, because there's no
Same
shame in
team
losing,
against Luton.
There's no shame in losing to Liverpool. Not
Yeah.
a
No,
bad
but-
performance. No shame
But
in
the
losing
same
the way we
teams-
did against Man
But
City.
Yeah,
you
but
got
then the
a
same
whole
team
gamut
against Luton.
in the last 6 games, Nigel. It's a whole gamut of what the Premier League is. 2 inferior teams home and away, 2 teams around us home and away, and 2 elite teams home and away. Played the same way every game.
and the same
Yeah.
players every
Look,
game.
Can you give him Moyes credit if he does that and shows no
I don't know, because I don't know if his judgment is clouded by the European games. Though we've only had 2, so I don't know how much judgment can be clouded by them. We've got Olympiacos coming up. Naturally,
If that game gets finished.
I'm happy enough to see Kudus coming off the bench in a Premier League game and play him in Europe. You know, if we can beat Olympiacos twice running, then job done. We don't play a meaningful game till March in the UEFA Cup, and then we can start. I expect to see Kudus start coming in starting games around December mark. And
I'm sure
we
him
can
and his
argue
agent
about,
will be pleased.
we can argue, yeah, but he's playing games. And if Nigel wants to be really brutal, not great touch was it for the third goal from Caduce.
Oh, you're fucking ripping the shit out of all
But-
of them, aren't you? You enjoyed the game. You didn't
Good
have
game, though,
anyone
wasn't
who
it?
fucking wearing...
Yeah, but individual player mistakes.
Well,
I looked at me, none of
Yeah.
them were at it. None of them were at it.
We didn't attack the final ball. Funny enough, I do agree with Moises. The final ball was terrible from everyone. But sometimes, we didn't really have. When you're looking up and you've only got Antonio to pass it to.
Which is
You
a
know,
sign
the-
of a Moyes team, isn't it? That's how he sets
Yeah,
up.
oh yeah, no. And this is where I will point the finger at Moyes. And 2 years ago, we knew the situation with Antonio weren't fantastic. He dragged it out for another year to go again,
Yeah, I know.
and to buy Danny Ings and to realise it's fouled, and to not go
Well,
out
he's
in
still-
the
he's
summer
still
and get
trying to-
someone else.
He's trying to work out how to play Danny Ings still, and he's getting
Well,
used to the
Yeah.
Premier League.
I
There's a
know
s-
how to play Danny Ings. Put
There's a
another
story.
Put a
There's a
different
story
club shirt
that-
on him. That's how you play Danny
funny you
Ings.
should say that, because there's a story today saying that this should be a Jack Wilshere moment where we pay him off his contract, by giving him
No, I don't believe
60%
him
or something.
paying up, but he's been about as successful as Freddie Lundberg was.
That
And
bad.
It's hard because Freddie Lundberg was a great player, and Danny Ings at Southampton and at Burnley and at Aston Villa was a great player. But I think it sums it up, isn't it? One of the first things Unai Emery did was walked in, got rid of Danny Ings, and made Ollie Watkins his number one up front.
Yeah.
And everybody looked at it and thought, well, it's a bit harsh on Danny Ings, isn't it? Well, it's turned out to be the right move, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Ings just can't play the Antonio role. He just
No,
so
that ain't his fault.
he would do well somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, if he can go and finish his career somewhere else, and he will get goals.
He will.
Just not in this, not in this team. Moyes is the manager. They're not going to change him for another 8 months, and that's why I don't get all this wailing after every defeat.
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't disagree with that. There's no point. He's here. He's staying.
I
and
don't.
that's-
Where you seeing this whaling?
Well,
You telling me
Nick.
it didn't happen then? Well, I don't know.
Oh
I
no,
didn't-
it's only you that goes and finds the whaling, and you can
Well,
complain
no, I don't
about
go and
people
phone.
whale.
I didn't go. I didn't watch anything last night. I didn't do anything.
Why do you know there's whaling then?
Oh, you telling me there weren't?
I bet there was.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. Look, this is a good segue into Grant's question.
Oh,
because
yeah,
he
let's
says,
go back to it.
According to social media, we started 10 Moyes and Antonio yesterday. Amazing stuff. So we see a lot of anti-Moyes stuff, but I didn't see a lot of it.
There was there was the usual people on
Yeah,
Twitter.
but you got to go looking for it to find it, you?
Well, no, yeah, you open up Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the people that follow him. It's not hard.
And he adds, right?
Go on.
Yeah. So did you want to carry on talking about something? Because he goes
I know.
off piece
Go
a
on.
little bit.
Go on.
Question 1, what was your nickname at school? You might want to tell us this one about Sean John.
I never went to school with Sean.
Oh, didn't you?
No. I
What was your
know
nickname, John? Then
my nickname. Well,
Yeah.
my mum wasn't very excited, mate. I was called Booch.
Booch.
Go on. Use the one that Potley used to use. that-
What for you?
Yeah.
You used to call him Chavez
Yeah, I couldn't see
because
that.
he was
Hairdresser.
hairdressing at the time,
Yeah.
and he
Go on,
The old-
then. What was
Mine
your
was
nickname?
Cheeky.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Can't recall one really now.
Hmm.
It was a shit one.
Okay.
Well, how about you?
Nige?
Nige.
Me,
Yeah.
depending on the social circle and depending on the school I went. One that still lingers is Chucker.
As in Khan.
That bloody song.
Yeah.
I feel
Carney
for
the
you, really.
Chameleon,
I do feel for you.
as that song.
hey,
Yeah. And Bert was another one because people thought I looked like Bert out of the Muppets. Hey, Bert.
Here,
And I used to walk
Yeah.
round. So I'd walk round school and I'd go, hey, Bert. And I'd go, hello, Ernie. And that was it, really. Yeah.
How
A
about
few
you?
others.
How about you, Len?
I said it cheeky.
Oh, cheeky.
Pillsbury Doughboy was another one. Someone thought I
Ah.
looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
At primary school, I'm sure you're going to like this one because people like to make fun of your name. Wet stain.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Beginning with Grant asked something else. But he follows it up with, what's the best nickname you've ever heard? Brady out, Sullivan out, calm and balanced reaction in.
Brady out.
Brady
Nickname.
out.
You're back, Nigel. It's your role.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to
Brady out.
take the questions over?
The best football nickname I have heard, I think, was One Size.
Yeah.
Fits all. Yeah.
Yeah, for fits all. Was it Portsmouth,
I
was he, or
thinking
something?
that.
Yeah, I think he might have been Portsmouth. Yeah, that was a great nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna take over the questions, I've liked all the ones he's read out. So
Oh, have you?
yeah.
Oh, there you look at you.
Yeah.
And I can get back on the Brady out.
Let me log on to
Don't let me
Facebook.
stop
then.
you though, John.
Well, why don't you do the next one?
I'll join
Len,
in
while
with
he's
the
finding
Brady
out.
outs.
What is it was Jack Rush, I think.
Oh, he's in a hurry.
No, we've done that one.
We've done
Oh,
Jack Rush. Anyone's like we've already done. How about Mark Flynn?
All right, I'll do Mark Flynn. Evening all. Why has Paqueta been put out on the left? Surely he's better used through the middle instead of Soucek. Kudus needs to start in place of Antonio as well, but he can interchange with Bowen on the right during the game. Thoughts? Brady out, Moyes out, Sullivan out.
Everyone
My
out.
thoughts are, I don't think Moyes sees Kudus a replacement for Antonio.
No.
I do think it would be better. I understand the Paqueta, but when I watched it today the second time, Paqueta spends most of the second half through the centre. Didn't do any better. As a team, we didn't do any better. But I would like to see him persevered a lot more of the game going through him. Paqueta, I mean, as a number 10, because when someone asks a number 10 on their back, I think that's a big hint of where he wants to play, and I just think it might be time to do that. Use him as a little bit of a poster boy for the last 6 months or a year. See
Before
how
he
well we
leaves.
do with that. I think the midfield's somewhere between very fluid and capable when things are going bad, but what appears to be a bit of a calamity when it's not going well or you're being outplayed. And I like to see something a bit more familiar. And if it means, when it talking about choosing a left-sided midfielder, if it means going down to Ollie Scarles in the kids, then I think Moyes has got to do that, but he won't. So this is why I think we are where we are now. I mean, you can move players. I know people got theories of moving players. I know people got theories for playing Kudus instead of Antonio. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, I don't. But some of these things that happen in the game, and no one sees them. I didn't see it the first time round. I'm a little bit... I mean, I thought we were going to go on a bit of a winning run. I'm a little bit concerned now.
We're bounced back at Everton. Nigel,
Do you know what though? If we don't, he's brought this all upon himself.
Go on. Yeah, no, I think it's a must win. It's the save our season on Sunday. Joking. Nigel, have you managed to log into Facebook?
Yeah, I was just trying to see where you got up to.
Yeah.
Cheeky lines, medium rare on the rare. I'm guessing you've read out his question.
No, I ain't done that yet.
Well, you said I've
And
liked
anything's
all the...
liked, we have, yeah.
Oh, that someone's liked that question. All right. I've got to look who's liked the bloody
Well, I don't
question
think.
now.
No, I don't think so. No one else has liked it. We might. I'm
Well, it
sure we
has.
did.
Because it's been liked by Christopher Ramsey.
Oh yeah. So that's very rare. Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
how big's the fine going to be when it kicks off against Olympiacos, says Cosland?
Well,
that one.
interestingly,
Oh, was it? Oh.
we've got a one game ban. So if there's any trouble, whether we start it or not, that suspended ban will come into effect straight away. So it won't just be a fine. We're missing away games immediately.
We've already missed an away game.
Yeah, but there was a 2-game ban. One of them was suspended. So any more trouble from us, we're banned for another one.
That's going to interrupt with Dodds' love life, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Right. What was your mastermind specialist subjects out of curiosity then?
Well, I chose Iron Maiden in the end.
London Stadium Finances 2010 to 2022.
Bending Moments table of structural timbers.
There you go.
What?
Or Depeche Mode.
There's no point in you choosing West Ham, is there, Nigel?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
FA Cup Finals, 1969 to 2010, I think.
Oh, blimey, I don't go that far.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to be bloody good at that, actually. Right, so not like so. Let's go then with who asked that one? You said it hadn't been done. Cheeky Lions, top fan. It says with a little diamond, whatever that means. Evening, gents. He says, hope you're all well, including Sean. There he goes, trying to be nice.
Yeah.
He was disappointed against Villa, but we needed an iron sooner or later. Apparently, says old Cheeky. I don't know about needing one. And I'm not sure Idin was right, but anyway, he's in Norfolk tonight. Obviously, half term on holiday, eating dinner with the kids. He's having a steak, and he wants to know how do you have your steak because he likes medium rare.
Same here, medium rare.
Medium rare. Anything else?
I do generally, but do you know what? If it's a bit of T-bone, which you don't see a lot now, I don't mind that well done, cooking it on the bone. That's nice, but generally I do like it medium rare, or I'll even chop down to rare.
Yeah. I'm on the side of rare, but it depends on the quality of meat, right? So
Tomahawk.
if you're going tomahawk, yeah, but if you're going to Chateaubriand, then definitely rare.
That's a bottle of wine, isn't it?
Chateaubriand, sharing it for 2, you can't get a better cut. Well, I mean, obviously there's some. You get a nice bit of Wagyu beef.
Depends what you like, Shawnee Warney.
It does, but you know, it's the quality of the meat, and I hate to say it and sound a bit snobby, but you can have rare if it's a really good quality meat. If you're a harvester, it don't matter how you have it, right? Because medium rare is going to make no difference to the shit meat they serve the harvester, right?
Well, while you're talking about the harvester, where's the place to buy good steak then, Sean?
Well, you want to go
Miller
to
and Carter.
Well,
might have a bit of bad news for you there.
Gauchos. I
My
think
mate who does the deliveries for breaks says the steak that the harvester and the middle of the car are the same steak.
It's not. No, if you go to Gauchos and the Argentinian meat you get at Gauchos, I always say Gauchos is one of the best places to get a good steak.
From British cows they are, you know, that did you?
Who?
Argentinian meat.
No, not
we
from
sent-
Gauchos, no.
No, we sent the cows over there to
Oh, really?
Argentina back in the colonial days. Because what's good about it is the grass and the steep mountains makes good beef for the old Aberdeen Angus. We sent them over there, and they've got better conditions for growing the meat.
Out in the Pampas. That's why the all Welsh went out there, isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
like mob of Welsh out there?
Yeah, that's right.
You
Cow
had an
farm.
Argentinian steak at Gauchos then?
I have actually.
Yeah.
Decent.
I've had
I
an
think it's overrated,
Argentinian
Gaucho.
steak in Amsterdam.
Oh, there you go. Can't beat it.
Right, thanks for that, Steve. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sauce do you have on your steak? A bit of mustard? Or?
Oh, do you know
Peppercorn.
what? I don't like to spoil it. If I'm honest with you, a little bit of salt and pepper, you shouldn't really spoil if the flavour should come out in the steak. Really don't spoil it with a sauce. I think it's sacrilege to bung a peppercorn sauce or a béarnaise or whatever on it. If I'm honest with you, let the
Peppercorn all
flavour
day long.
let the flavour of
All
the
day
meat.
long.
If you're a harvester,
Peppercorn sauce.
peppercorn, right? If you're not a harvester,
Oh, shut up.
have
you
the meat.
snob.
Eat the
What's
meat.
an absolute?
Glass of red,
Oh yeah, of course.
preferably a bottle. Anyway,
One glass is enough for Sean. He's off his tits by then.
yeah. As you were, Nigel.
Dear, oh dear. Right, sorry, I lost my spot then. All that excitement about steak.
Ian Gravett.
Oh no, I think it lines it up different, so that it's not like it's right. Peter John Edgecombe, the Edge, says, "Evening, gents. Trust you all well." He said, "Could we have a barometer update this season against 2021 to 2022?" I think I should do that actually. Maybe my way back in now. I've supposedly finished in Plymouth. Ho ho. He said, "Since Sean has discovered Greg's." Have you, Sean? You discovered Greg's? How many stone has he put on?
They're everywhere now. You see them everywhere. You know, you find one Greg's and they're everywhere.
They're not everywhere now. They've always been everywhere.
Oh. Do you know what? I have put a few stone on, and if as you
He's
know,
had a good summer, Sean.
I've had a good
Let's
summer,
leave it at that, actually.
but now that I'm betrothed to be married and I'm engaged, I will need to be slim of the year again to slim down before my wedding. So no
Before
more
your
Greg's for
nuptials.
me. Yeah,
When's the wedding?
don't know yet. We haven't booked it, but maybe next Christmas. Maybe next Christmas. We'll see.
What, getting married in the football season?
Yeah. Says the person who didn't attend a game in the whole of September.
Don't talk to me about attending games or not attending games.
Well, I am. I'm doing that.
How many did you attend in August then?
All of them.
Yeah? What, even when you was on holiday?
Yeah. Flew
Oh, right.
back.
You flew back, yeah, of course you did. Yeah. Like you saw Bobby Charlton play. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think I thought for that old pony?
He asked that
Oh,
for
dear.
himself. I know he's not going to say no. And he didn't. He never let me down.
The bit that made me laugh was the fact is that he then carried on without answering the question.
What didn't I answer the question? I said, yeah, Bobby Moore. And
Do
he was
you know
mate
what?
to
Is?
Bobby Moore
Why
and-
did you say Bobby
Fucking
Moore? I'll
strange,
tell you
that.
why
Go
you
on.
said Bobby Moore. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because I bet you saw a photograph of Bobby Charlton shaking hands with Bobby
Yeah,
Moore
I
at
did.
Upton Park
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
that day. And
Yeah.
My timeline was fucking full of that.
do you want to
Yeah.
know
Go on.
what was special about that picture?
I don't know, but it was
What's
everywhere
special
over my
about that
timeline.
day?
I posted it. Was that the New Year's Day one?
No.
When was it?
I believe it was 1967.
Right.
It was the final game of the season. Man United won 6-1 and
Yeah.
won the title at Upton Park.
Ah, there you go.
And it would be the last time Bobby Charlton won the league title.
There you go.
So, yeah, that's that picture.
There you go. You're right. I didn't see Bobby Charlton.
No, I
No,
knew
we
you
know
weren't there.
that.
Fuck,
We
you
knew
don't think we
the
believe
moment
that,
the,
Bobby?
the question left his lips.
I've been in the room where Bobby Charlton's been, but no, I haven't.
Yeah, I've been in the stadium where Bobby Charlton's been.
No,
It
no,
don't
I've
mean
been
I've
in a
seen him
room
play
when-
football. Oh, dear. So anyway, the Edge carries on. He says, as a long-time listener, maybe even one of the 7. I don't think I ever listened to the first ever pod. So went to find it, but it's not there. It starts at number 2 with Jeremy Nicholas. You had Jeremy Nicholas.
Yeah, we did, and number 2, we had
Mr.
Jeremy
Moon.
Nicholas. Yeah. Do you know what? The first episode that we recorded, and it is lost, unfortunately, we have looked for it. There's about 3 episodes we've lost. The first episode literally was John, myself, Reese, and George recorded in John's front room with one microphone between us.
Oh,
Do you remember?
I remember those days.
And
Listening.
we used to pass around the microphone, and it was really poor quality, but it was our first attempt of literally. George had mentioned this idea on a bus from Canning Town, if I remember rightly, John. And on the Monday after the game, we came round to John's front room and well, is it your front room? Yeah, the front room and the back room. And yeah, we just hand around the microphone, but it couldn't be re-interactive. You just hand
Just to
over the
show,
microphone.
I used to listen back then. How was your journey, Sean?
Yeah, that's right. And Reese always used to talk about, oh, yeah,
The
it was
red
traffic
lights.
lights. Yeah, that's right. It was a good old joke. But yeah.
Oh, how is Reese?
Well, he's George's friend, right? And I'm sure if you listen, you know that he had a football career and played for AFC Wimbledon
And Wales,
and Wales, yeah,
under
in his
21s
heyday.
with Jack Collison.
That's right. But in the end, he sort of didn't try hard enough. And last time I heard, and John will correct me, he was a PE teacher at a private school. Is he still doing that, John?
Yeah, he still does all that stuff. Yeah.
So he does football training at a private
I'm not
school.
sure. I think. Yeah, he's in that world.
He's in that world, yeah. So
Oh, good luck to him. Couldn't you get him back just for one week?
I'm sure we could. I don't know.
You could have a reunion. Why not ask George back as well?
Yeah. You know how it gets.
He was
People
back
get
last
married,
week, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Well, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Was it?
Right.
Yeah, he came back. But yeah, it was good old days. Reese, by
We
the
are
way,
having a reunion. You're here tonight.
Oh, yes.
Reese, if you didn't know, not only was an AFC Wimbledon player, but he was a Chelsea fan. He wasn't even a West Ham fan. I'm sure we used to say
No,
that.
but I
to him.
did meet him at a West Ham game.
Yeah, he came
Yeah, he did
occasionally.
come
Down
occasionally.
the
Yeah.
Black Line, I remember.
Yeah.
Walking up to John going, I like you and I can't take him.
Reese used to be really good at doing David Gold question time, and he loved doing the voices, didn't he? Remember that, John?
Yeah.
We should bring David Gold
Who was
question time.
Clunge? Who did the voice? Was that George with his... Or would that spoil it?
We're not allowed to say.
We're not allowed to say. I
No,
know
no.
who you was getting the information from, saying who did the voice, because obviously it wasn't your Ferrari driving mate that did the voice.
No, it wasn't. No.
No, there you go. Yeah. So, anyway, he said he did. In fact, the Edge says what happened to Reese.
He's
He said
moved on to McLaren's now, by
There
the
you
way.
go.
Yeah.
It was interesting listening, he said, hearing Sean talk about his blog and Colton Cole, Big Sam, Parker leaving. And he finishes up, he has got a question. He loved the old chants. I love the North Bank to the away fans of the South Bank. You'll never make the station. Always put a smile on his face.
Ah.
What was the question?
That weren't, no, there was
That
no
wasn't a
question.
question.
No. Anyway, what was your favourite chant?
Keep telling you this. Same old West Ham taking the piss, but we don't say it anymore.
I like in the South Bank, knees up Mother Brown, because when they knees up the Brown, the knees went up, right? And if you weren't on your toes and got in front of a barrier, that crowd would just lurch forward and you get squashed up. No health and safety. You get squashed against one of those upright barriers. Do you remember those days, John?
I do. Most of my favourite chances are now banned, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really go into
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you can't really run round Tottenham anymore, can you?
Yeah.
You can't. You probably get moaned
Full
at
of
if you
tits.
look for something to eat in a bin as well.
Full of tits,
Yeah.
Fanny and West Ham. That one, yeah. West Ham is wonderful. That gets sung occasionally.
Scott Anderson. He says, every time Danny Ings comes on, I think, gee, Joe Cole looks old. Who do you think would win a foot race? Ings or Joe Cole?
Joe Cole all day long.
Brady out.
Ready out.
Ready out.
Foot race. Like running race.
Running race.
Yeah.
Right.
You do that with your feet, though, didn't you?
I think Danny Ings will beat him.
Do you?
Well, he's still playing football, so
Oh no, he's losing his air.
oh well.
Next up, it's my old mate, Fennis Fenton. He says, hello, guys. He says, it's obvious that Antonio up top ain't working. If we
Nigel,
had
you think he's
Watkins-
working?
No,
don't
I
think
don't.
it's too bad, do you?
It works in a way, but it don't work when you want to score goals.
Oh yeah, that's the only problem.
There you
Yeah.
go. That is a problem. He don't score goals. And he never has, really, when we look at it, which is, he is...
Well, you could say it's not a striker.
Well, no, he's not.
He's not.
And actually, he was as effective scoring goals, playing wide right,
Yeah.
than he is. when
Yeah.
he's-
I know.
So when he plays up front, so in a way, moving back wide right and find someone else. Not sure Kudus is the answer there. I
No,
don't
he's
know.
not, is he? He's
not
not
the
striker,
answer.
is he?
No, so who knows?
Well, most don't. But he gets 4 or 5 million a year, so
He
don't-
does.
let's-
He does
let's
state
not
the
put too
obvious.
much pressure on him.
Really, if we had Watkins and they had Antonio, we would have won.
Yeah.
It's probably not wrong.
Good point.
Brady
Possibly.
out, Sean on holiday, Shed Man in.
I'm not on holiday, I'm back. They let me
I
in.
think he wishes you was on holiday.
Well, they nearly didn't let me in.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Paul Turner.
No, we done
Done him.
Paul Turner.
Oh, did you?
But
Yeah.
I did do the Western bit.
Oh, mate.
You got AI Sean still to go, and you've got.
All right, yeah, he's up next.
great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What about Dodsey?
Oh,
Was he
let me get
there,
to it.
or was he sort of doing a bit of research?
I don't know why, because you've liked half of them and
I haven't
not
done
half of them.
anything. This is
I'm liking 'em,
Sean's
yeah.
idea that he didn't execute.
I can tell you what's left if you need to.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey up, gents, says Nick Harvey. Ready out.
Brady out.
He's gone for, because he's not a Moyes fan, basically, a humiliating, it wasn't humiliating at all, defeat to Villa. Not a single player had a decent game.
Well, that ain't fucking inaccurate, that bit.
No. Still,
there you go
well,
then.
it weren't humiliating, though.
Well,
Still
maybe he
2
felt
games.
humiliated.
Did he? Oh.
Well, only he knows that.
2 games this week to make amends. Still 2 games this week to make amends. I don't know what 2 games we've got.
Well, this
One,
week, no, 2.
1.
One on Thursday, one on Sunday.
On Sunday, that's this week.
2 weeks.
Sunday's next week, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
no,
technically,
no,
I was
no,
always
no,
told
no,
it was the
no,
first
no,
day
no,
of the-
no,
Yeah,
no,
first
no.
day
Only,
next week.
only to religious types.
Oh, right,
Well,
okay.
well, I went to a church school early. doors.
Sunday's the end of the week for me.
I went to
Monday's
church
the
as a
start.
kid.
Oh, don't worry about fucking Jesus. Worry about what it means to you, Sean.
Well,
Fuck's sake.
Monday's the start of the week. This week
No, it
we're
ain't. Sunday's first day
No.
of the week. Anyway,
okay.
will Cornet ever start a game again?
No.
No.
He's got a problem, and remember we talked about this. Twice in 25 years injury. I think he's on a special kind of training program. I don't know if that's everything to do with it, but it's something to do
Is
with
he
it.
on the bench? I must admit, I couldn't tell you he was on the bench.
He has been on the bench. I'm not sure he was on the bench on Sunday.
Right. Has Antonio ever had a decent game after bigging himself up in the media during the week before?
No.
Probably not.
Did he big himself up in the podcast?
I don't
can't
know.
I
remember.
asked you if you did a podcast.
Yeah,
I didn't get a reply.
I was away, so
Yeah.
no one else replies to you, Len. So
Well, I don't
sorry.
listen to...
I'm so lucky they fucking turn up on the podcast. Really.
Yeah,
They don't
too
fucking
right.
reply.
Yeah, because last week, I remember Nigel saying, "I'll definitely record with."
Yeah. I
with,
don't understand
Len.
why he said that either.
Yeah, I know.
What he said was, we'll definitely do something.
Yeah,
and I
that's
thought
that's
to
why
myself,
I remember it.
that's a fucking outlandish claim because you
I know.
don't do fucking anything.
Yeah, and when I reminded him of it, he
turned nasty on
he
you,
turned
didn't he?
nasty on me. Yeah,
I'll put you back in your box, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, because while you were sunning yourself in Turkey, some of us were spending 5 hours driving home from work.
oh well.
He was stressed in Devon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because I was only supposed to be down there for 4 days and ended up doing 8. I didn't go
Are you
home the
back
weekend.
now?
Well,
Got no
I was,
idea
yes.
where you are, what you're doing,
No.
anything.
Today was an emergency, so
to flick a switch or
to flick a switch.
Oh, so that was today you went down there for that?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to go there today?
No, I was in the office first. I went to Welling Garden City and then got a phone call and it was like, well, I'm the only one that can do it.
You're right.
So drove down there, flicked the switch, did a couple of other things while I was there because I was there. Jumped in the car. I was on site 50 minutes, 55 minutes, 5-hour journey. Yeah.
11-hour claim plus subsistence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question 3.
Yeah. What has the senior source told Sean about the budget for the January window?
Well,
Go on, Sean.
I know people will say, well, we got £17 million left over, but it doesn't quite work like that. I have been told money will be made available to Tim Steidten if it's required. But equally, they go, you never get any value in January. So I don't think there is a budget in particular. We spent big in the summer. We spent big in the summer before. I think if we're going to spend money, it will be on a striker.
Was Bowie not good value then?
What do you mean?
Well, we bought him in January, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And look, I'm not saying...
Was Souček not good value?
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
Bought him in January.
Let's not get too hung up about...
Dean Ashton, was he not good value?
All right, let's not get too
January.
hung up about... We've got a good squad. We don't need to sign lots of people. The point I'm
We
making
spent
is...
big in the summer. We
spent
came out
big
with
in the summer.
£17 million positive.
No, yeah, and that's good. That's a good thing, John. You
Spending
should
big.
celebrate that.
It's
It's not about spending every penny. We need a striker. Money will be made available for striker. Let's not get too hung up about budgets and doing 5 or 6. We probably need one addition in January, a striker.
Yeah, striker.
That's it, right?
What
It costs what it costs.
What's 17 million going to get you in a striker?
It costs what it costs, John. Let's not get hung up about budgets.
Okay.
I try not to talk about them anymore because people then hang on to your words. When I said we had no money last summer, I got crucified on social media for saying we had no budget. We'd only have what we spent. In fact, we had a minus budget.
So you and your mate create a market about information.
Yeah.
And because you get a bit of grief, you don't want to give out information.
Nah, I'm joking. Of course, I'll join in the thing, but it's just too early to talk about
when
it.
when you say you and your mate, is that you and Sean, Nigel?
No, I was talking to Sean, him and his mate.
Who's my mate?
Come on, don't.
Who's
You
my
haven't
mate?
wasted time with fucking information.
Anyway,
I thought
get
it
it
all
right.
went through 6'2" now, didn't it? Or is that not a thing anymore?
Not lately. I've been on holiday and busy at work.
And I've been working.
And evenings since I've got engaged, so...
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
Ryan Doyle.
Done him. I can't remember if we've given
Yeah,
him
we
a
have done,
name.
Ryan. We
All
did.
right. All right. Sorry.
We've got
So
Junior.
no question. This is Michael
Yeah,
Levy
that's
Jr.
it, that's it.
Save time, love to all, but Brady out.
Brady
Because
out.
Michael will be touring soon, back in the UK. So check out his Facebook page. Look him up, Michael Levy Jr. Soul singing superstar of Tenerife. Be in the UK, possibly Loughton. Looks like definitely doing the Midlands.
Well,
So
and I hope
perhaps-
to see him
perhaps when he's
early
over.
next year.
Well, you off to Tenerife?
Yeah, I'm not doing any more. Look, that's me for holidays this year. I'm not going on holiday
my
this
heart breaks.
year. Not at all for the whole year.
You have more holidays than a black cab driver, Sean. And
Do
that
they have a
sounds
lot of
good.
holidays?
Do you reckon?
Yeah, do they? I
You,
don't know.
you know they've had a tough year when they start complaining they've only had 3.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And no one wants to take cash no more, do they?
No.
Ian Gravitt. Good evening, gents. He says, why does boys need assistant managers?
So you can fall out with them.
He said, it's obvious they don't listen to a word, or he don't listen to a word
That's
they
true.
say. Does boys bore the players to sleep at half time?
Yeah.
Is that the reason why we look asleep for the first 15 minutes of the second
We
half?
do come out slow.
Oh God! It is mad, isn't it? How that's become a thing. I read that behind the doors friendly was played against Oxford United or City. Well, what one? In the international break. Orford and Coventry played well, but neither will play any time soon. Why is Callum Marshall good enough for Northern Ireland international squad, but not good enough to play any time for the first team for us?
Where would you fit him in?
I don't know.
This is the problem. If we can't fit Caduce in the team, where are you going to fit in?
We can fit Caduce in the
You
team
just don't want to play him.
because Caduce could play where Souček plays.
You want to drop Souček? Souček's had some good form.
Hold up! Don't say he can't fit in because he can.
All right. So where are you going to fit in? Who did he say?
See,
Orford, was it?
Orford, yeah. Where are you going to fit him
Coventry?
in?
I don't
Coventry.
know who he is.
Coventry's gone, right? Let's be honest. Coventry's.
no one's mentioning Connor Coventry.
I thought he did.
He did. He said Coventry played well.
Oh,
Yeah, he did. Orford and Coventry played well,
Oh,
but neither. And he also said Callum Marshall. That was the other one. Good enough
Callum
for
Marshall,
Northam.
is it?
So where are you going to fit Orford, Coventry, and Callum Marshall into the first team? Oh, behave that, Ian. Come on. We've got a good squad, right? And they're making
Well,
up the numbers.
By luck or design, we've got a good squad. That's the painful side of it, isn't it? We have got a good squad. We've got some really good players.
Mm.
All
Just
playing
need-
that position, but good squad full of players.
Anyway, I make that it, Nigel.
Nope.
Unless you go on,
Nope, it's not it.
go on.
Super Chrissy Mills.
Well, there must be that.
Evening, gents, he says. Unless you've been going through and clicking likes.
No.
and stop
Chrissy
me
Mills.
reading them out.
No.
Right, because I've still got a few left here.
Okay.
Says, after watching that horror show, I just can't be bothered to talk about football. So I wanted to ask Sean, what came back from his questions to the club about the confiscated items?
Nothing. It wasn't. The club said it was nothing to do with them. And to talk to London Stadium 185, I tried to talk to London Stadium 185, and they said that it was a secret and that it was they couldn't release the information due to prevention of a crime, and they blame Met Police. So I asked Met Police and asked Andy Sheldon, and he said, "Well, nothing to do with me, Gov." So everyone's pointing fingers and going, "It's a state secret." So I did try. I did, as I told you, I for the last game, and I did this again on whichever game it was. I now walk through with my phone, and I don't take things out of my pocket anymore. And this time, I think I told you on the last podcast, they did it, and I didn't know if there were any batteries on. This time, it made a sound. It went beep beep, and they just go through.
Well, he carried on. Super Chris says, I waited 15 minutes for my search for Newcastle.
I was at Newcastle. That was
And
it.
now I know the ones definitely aren't on because I had a beer in my pocket and still got through. And I looked in the bins and there was no collection of knuckle dusters, just plastic bottles. What a complete waste of time.
They do take bottle tops. I know that because our friend Carmel often she has to hide a top somewhere and just take a bottle through, and
Yeah,
and they fill it
just
up.
take the top off the bottle and put it in your pocket and walk through.
Well, I don't know where. I don't ask a woman where she puts a bottle top, but she hides it and she's not.
Oh my God! Move on.
Anyway, Daryl Holly. He's not heavy, but he's not my brother. Evening all, he says. Probably not a great time to ask this. Would have maybe been slightly better to ask a few weeks back. So this may be my last question, he says, laughing. We'll let you off. He said a few years back, TalkSport did a feature on the promises. Oh, there's that word, promises. The board gave, and basically, as we all know, they delivered 0 of them at the time. However, how many of the list of promises have they now delivered on, do you think? Daryl out, probably, he says, laughing.
I don't think so, Daryl. Let's hear Sean sweat.
What?
Make a case.
What have
for
they
his
delivered?
sweaty
They
mates.
number one. I think they were aspirations and not promises. They never said they were pledges, right? So let's get this word promises out of the way.
Failed
They were-
ambition, Sean,
they were
was the word I
ambitions,
used. Failed ambition.
So, if we look at, I'm going to quickly look at the 10 pledges, right? West Ham. I'm trying to remember what they were.
Well,
And I
Cha-
think,
World class stadium, world class team,
here we go. Right, this is
listen to
Champions
the fans.
League football.
appoint the right manager. Tick.
Well, we didn't do that.
Well, hang on. We've got David Moyes the Mossad.
No.
Hang on.
When
Hang on.
did
Are you going to interrupt me, or you just?
Well, hold
let me
up, should
talk
we
about
not
it?
debate each
You
point
ticked
quickly?
it. You
Right.
just said fucking
Appoint the
tick.
right manager. Tick.
So
No.
that's for tick for you. I would give that a tick, actually.
Well, hang on a minute. When he made this was the
Yeah, this is 2010.
Yeah.
So, who was the manager they appointed after that, Sean?
Well, Pellegrini, I guess.
yeah. So which he later said
No,
wasn't
Sean.
the right
Hold
manager.
up, Sean. these pledges were done when they bought the club.
Oh, right. So it would
Oh,
have been Avon Grant at the time.
Yeah.
So,
All right, but
Right,
you
so
know
that's not a tick
wasn't
then, is it?
there wasn't a number, but it says a high caliber. Right, let's move on because we'll be here all night. Sign new players. Tick.
well, it's a bit stupid, really, because
That's a bit
any
of a
player you
fucking-
sign
yeah.
is new by the
All
ends
right,
that
but
you've
just
signed
I'm
him.
just trying to make a point. More investment in the academy. Tick. We haven't
Okay.
invested
I'm
more
not
in the
sure about
academy.
that.
We moved to Rush Green. We spent over £6 million.
No,
on the
no,
academy.
no.
Yes.
That wasn't them, Rush Green. That was before. Because that was Kirbish's idea. He told it to Scott
Yeah,
Duxbury.
but it didn't happen. Moving to
Oh,
Rush Green
Sean,
didn't
don't be
happen until
fucking
after
daft.
2010.
Yeah, but
Well, of
we'd
course
bought
it
Rush
didn't
Green,
happen, would
Sean.
it?
Right,
We-
all right.
we-
I'm just
we
saying,
had-
have they made more investment in the academy? Yes.
No.
Number 4, continue to clear the debt. Tick, big tick.
No, they haven't, you said.
Yeah,
You
they
make your
have.
mind up, will you?
They have cleared the debt.
No,
the
they
money
haven't,
that
you
came
said.
in from Kredinsky has now cleared the debt. Yes, it has. Completely cleared the
No,
debt.
so you converted that to capital then?
Well, no, it hasn't. It's gone now. The
No, he
debt's
does
gone.
it for the love of his fucking
Anyway,
club, doesn't he?
freeze
Kretinsky?
season ticket prices for renewals.
That's
They
good
did at
one.
the time. Tick. Build the status image of the club. West Ham,
No.
London, all over the world. Tick. In Ted Lasso.
fuck off,
Tick.
Sean.
In Ted Lasso.
What's
World
it?
known.
Read that
No
bit
one
out again.
cares.
Read that one out again.
Fuck's sake.
Build the status and image of the club. Our standing at home and abroad is rightly built on our proud history. And it's
No,
based
it
on
isn't.
building-
We're fucking West Ham too.
Tick.
Don't say it's built on our proud history.
Number 7, make it enjoyable to come and watch. Tick.
Definitely not.
Oh
No, come
my
on.
God, no.
Come
Fuck off, Sean.
Hang on. Under Bilic, after this, it was enjoyable to watch. Under Slaven Bilic.
What, so 5
You
years
can't help
after that?
yourself. You've
Number
ticked
8.
every fucking one.
Number
haven't ya?
8, get closer to the community. Tick, big tick. The foundation's done wonderful stuff.
I'll give you that. I think the
Okay.
foundation has done
Depends. Your age and bleating.
Okay.
Carry on.
Number 9, go for the Olympic Stadium. Big tick. We went for the Olympic Stadium. We got the Olympic Stadium. You can't argue against that one, Len. We got the Olympic Stadium. Go for the Olympic Stadium. Number 10.
Oh yeah, they could have just put that on there. That could have been the one.
Number 10,
fucking
and
tick.
this one is I've got to give it a tick as well. Listen to
Yeah,
the
of course
supporters.
you do.
Listen to the supporters. You know.
Fuck off, Sean. Fuck off.
Anyway, that's a 10-point pledge. You know, the problem is it's very subjective. That was
Not
made,
if you're an arse licker like you, it ain't.
That
You
was
fucking
made-
ticked a lot.
That was made on the 18th of May 2010, some
There you go.
13 years ago.
Yeah. And so the first manager they appointed, Sean, after they were made.
Was Avram Grant, which was by their own
And you
admission.
gave that a tick.
Yeah, but hang on. I see. If you can, hang on. If you can cherry pick which manager you talk about, so can I. So over the 13 years, I'm going to say they have appointed the right manager. Slaven Bilic for that first season was great. You know, we had a great season last year under, you know, winning the Europa Conference League. So if you can cherry pick over 13 years, I can cherry pick over 13 years.
What if I cherry picked? I've just answered them all honestly.
Oh, I have.
I think they've done well keeping the price of season tickets down.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, but they had to move. They had to move
Are you
into a
saying,
stadium
right,
where
honestly,
the seats
build the
was like-
status and image of the club? You don't think, outside of our little bubble,
No.
they haven't
You
built
said
the
it's
status and
based on
image
the
of the club?
clubs. No, because they haven't done it like what you said.
It's about, right, they didn't use the word brand, but it's about building the brand.
No,
I tell you what,
Sean,
it was,
Sean, fuck
it was
off.
a
will ya?
genius
You
thing
said
to get
using
involved
the
You
in.
said
history.
using the club's history. They didn't do
But they
that.
haven't.
We were another club now.
Everything
No,
you
no, no,
listed,
listen.
everything you listed had nothing to do with the history.
Right,
Ted
on-
Lasso's not history.
Our standing at home and abroad is rightly built on our proud history and commitments to young talent. Yeah? That's
No.
just a statement.
No, it's
With
not.
the world's spotlight set to shine on this part of London, the time is right to spread the word further. Right? So listen to that pledge. The time is right to spread the word further. Building the brand globally. More people know about West Ham because of Green Street and Ted Lasso than anything else. I'm sorry, but that is the
Green
truth.
Street was before them.
I know it was, but I'm now saying Ted Lasso is why most Americans know West Ham.
Most Americans, but not most people.
Yeah. But you know, world.
Most Americans
Anyway,
aren't
look.
most people.
We are going to argue this all day long about the pledges. We're never going to agree. It's subjective, and let's just say each person will have to agree whether those pledges were anything more than ambitions and whether they were done or not. And we'll never agree. And I think I'm not alone. It splits our fan base. If you asked every member of the fan base, they'd all give you different answers. Those 10 pledges. Anyway, back to the. Have we got any left? Or are we done now?
Well, the one
We have now.
thing is, I don't know. No, I'm surprised no one's asked
Go
this
on.
because it's been a big thing. Is about the Moyes contract situation.
We talked about it.
Oh, we
didn't
talked
before you-
about that.
I gave an update. Nigel.
Not looking good for him.
Do you know what? You must have spent 3 minutes talking about the game. didn't
We did, because there was a lot to discuss.
No, we didn't.
you? People listen to
We
this
nearly,
podcast.
we nearly been 2 hours.
We're nearly 2 hours. Yeah, right.
I wasn't
but
going to do any
but
questions
to,
tonight,
To
actually.
read all these questions out,
Yeah.
you must have spent an hour and a half on the questions.
We did spend about. We'd only just started question time when you joined, but we got up to
No,
about
you ain't.
40
You'd
minutes.
have read out half the questions.
No,
And
but
I
I
joined
only
at
have to
8:15.
answer to 2 people.
Right. Turn up late is our problem. It's
Yeah,
always a victim,
Christ.
never your fault.
Oh, don't start all that.
Oh,
Anyway, that's been more than just a podcast for tonight.
yeah. So anyway, predictions, shall we?
So
First,
what was the question? Just so I know, save
Go
me
on.
having to listen to it. What's going on with his contract then?
Well, I think that
Save me having to listen to it.
the
Yeah.
board are unsure whether they remember his position in the relegation struggle. They remember the money wasted in the summer before. They know he didn't start off very well with Tim Steidten, and therefore the jury's still out and saying he's got to prove himself. He doesn't get an automatic
He's got to prove
extension. He's
himself.
got to prove himself, and that will be how he works with Tim
Out of
in the
curiosity,
January.
did you boys say what you thought about that?
Actually, Len agreed with it and said, "Yeah,
I didn't, but I didn't say that, but I was thinking it.
you did. You said,
I
well,
say that?
actually, you said, well, that's common sense.
Well, it's-
Why did you have to say that out loud? You actually said,
Yeah. But I mean, why? But, yeah, I do really. I think because you're going to start feeling, all it takes is bad results to start feeling different about things.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's the same for any manager.
What you've neglected to say to Nigel, Sean, is that you think that it's going to be Tim Steiden's idea and choice, which it should be. That's what
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah, I
with.
think Tim will be tasked with finding
And
a
I-
new manager
I do think-
if the form and his relation. I mean, those two have got to work together. And if they can't
Yeah.
work together, I think only one person's going, Nigel. That's my own speculation. If the two can't get on and agree in the winter and approaching next summer, I think, and it comes from, it's one or the other. I think Tim Steinen will stay, and Moyes won't have his contract renewed, and it will be Tim's job to find someone else. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim's already looking for a replacement, because that's good planning and
Should
strategy
be.
anyway.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that bit. So obviously, Len thought that was a good idea. Where do you sit then, Sean?
Where do I sit?
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be ungrateful for David Moyes, because I think he's done a lot of good, but he can be a stubborn bastard, and I think we've got someone good in Tim Steiden, and I don't think his stubbornness should stand in the way where Tim Steiden walks. So I do sort of get that if the two can't work together, if our tactics don't improve, then maybe it is time and shake hands and go, thanks very much, David Moyes, you've done really well. You're remembered for winning the Europa Conference League and getting us into Europe 3 years running. But it's time to look for a different manager, and I don't think he would feel aggrieved by that. But you know what? As I said on Talk TV last night, we could go on and win the Europa League. We're 17 games unbeaten in Europe. It could be 18 games on Thursday. We could go on and win Europa League and be in Champions League next year. I know I'm joking in some ways, but we nearly got there before against Frankfurt, and who knows? And then they're in a difficult position, because I'm going to sack and go, yeah, you just won us Europa League, we're now in Champions League. You know.
Let me simplify the question, and
Go
I
on.
think you've already answered, Sean. But if you had to keep one out of Moyes and Steidman,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, who would you keep?
Steinem.
Nigel? He doesn't like this question.
No, he won't like it.
No, that's a tough one.
It's a
for
good
me.
question. Then it's a really good question.
That is actually a very good question. At the moment, I would probably err on Moyes.
Ooh, John.
Oh!
Starting.
There you go. You're outvoted.
It's not voted. Yeah, so I look. I know I'm not a more what would be classed as a Moyes fanboy.
Fucking, I'll tell you your closest thing to it.
You don't hide it very well.
But the thing that baffles me is that here's a man who's won us our first trophy in 43 years, has got the best Premier League record of any West Ham manager.
The worst dance.
Yeah, but whatever you say, but he's got the best Premier League record of any manager that we've had, and yet still can't get a new contract. You know, and when you look at the things that he's achieved things for the club that we'd never achieved before,
I get
like the
that.
3 times in Europe qualification and everything else. For me, I just think, like, you don't have to give him a 4-year contract. I think he could have deserved a 2-year contract.
But here's the problem, right? It's all about he's a control freak, and there is no room for any other. This is what we were talking about: assistant managers and transfers, etc., and scouts and everything else. Now, interesting is his mate Mark Doherty. We didn't mention that is left now. There is no other room for anyone except for David Moyes, and I think that's his downfall.
Okay.
And that
Apart
will
from
be
the-
his downfall.
Apart from the continuously picking out of form players and the shit football, I mean, that
But
could
loads
be
of
his
managers
downfall.
done that, and this is the thing.
No,
I get
but
people-
to continuously do it. Last season, it was unbelievable he didn't get sacked. There were times last season where it was just so
But
bad.
what if
that
we'd have
any
sacked
other...
him then, and it meant that we didn't win the?
No,
cup?
yeah, but you don't
Fine.
know, do you? But that's the thing.
Shoulda,
No,
coulda,
but-
woulda.
It was unbelievable he didn't get sacked.
I don't think it was unbelievable.
The state of the games we were being put in front of us last season was atrocious.
Yeah. Listen, they didn't sack Avram Grant until the second from last game of the season.
Yeah, well they tried to, but
And
then
that
they
was
got
even worse.
They
They're
got
not-
Martin
they're not
O'Neill
sackers.
lined up, didn't they?
Well, that was the rumour. Anyway, luckily it's called Twitter, Facebook, Twitter time. So Dan Numbers, who does give a question every week, and has changed his Twitter name now to Dan Numbers. So I don't know what happened to 4969, whatever it was. Managers fault when we lose, he says, but when we win, it's in spite of him and thanks to the players. Is it the non-legacy fan West Ham way? Well, there's 3 legacy fans here, Dan, that maybe would offer a different point of view. He says we have a cup team, as on our day we can beat anyone, and that's where our full focus should be over the next 2 weeks. Brady out. See, I'm with
Brady
Dan.
out.
At the end of the day, you know, even that we're not gonna. I don't think we'll be top 6. So
If we'd have won
Still-
yesterday, we would have been top 5.
yeah, but it's a marathon, not a sprint.
No, I know, but it's,
You know, so the
you thought
chances are Villa won't be top 5.
if you fall away early,
So, well, yeah, but then and I think he's right in what I'm saying is, I'm more than happy to lose 4-1 to Villa, go and beat Olympiacos, and do something against Arsenal the following week.
you know,
Do you know
some-
what though?
With beating Everton in between. So a point away, Olympiacos. Beat Everton, we should beat Everton. Won't be easy, but we should beat them. And then beat Arsenal in the cup. It could be a great night.
Yeah.
Could be a
I've
great
got.
night.
By the way, I'm sitting up with you because I forgot to buy my ticket. So for the Arsenal game, I'm up next to you, Nigel. Sorry.
All right.
I meant it was only a tenner and a quid for.
Don't forget your pumpkin.
Well, actually, I'm a little bit down from you. I've got the lowest you can for band 4 for a tenner, so I'm like right at the front of the.
Oh, you done well then.
Yeah.
Uh,
By the way, there's a late question from first-time listener.
Well, hold up,
Go on.
because Adam Leatherbarrow on Twitter,
Yeah.
he also he says early question for the pod because
Yeah.
I want to spark debate. It's
You
quite
can't
fun.
fucking spark a lighter.
Anyway, brutal. Let's say West Ham gave up and left Stratford and East London altogether and moved further east into Essex. What impact do you think this will do for the club?
Well,
Also, he
Ain't
then
gonna
said,
happen.
what part of Essex do they go? Where could you build the stadium? Would the county benefit
No.
from having a Premier League club?
No.
Would London miss West Ham?
Yeah.
Are there more fans in Essex than East London? now?
No. It wouldn't work. You wouldn't fill a 62,000 stadium in Essex. Sorry.
Oh, you chat shit, Sean.
It wouldn't happen.
Why wouldn't it?
Because I
So if
don't
they-
think. I think
If
that
they
look,
built
if
it
we're
at Bar
honest,
Lakeside, yeah, are you telling me we can get 62,000 fans?
I don't think so. I think it's a tourist attraction as anything else, and we know that, and that's what fills. It is.
shit.
Look, and so are all the other big clubs. It's turned in. Sorry to go back, Ted Lasso. Oh, let's go to a Premier League, English Premier League game, EPL. You know, there is a bit
Sean,
of that.
what
Go on.
tickets are on sale though? Because obviously, 90% of our tickets are already sold every game because
Well,
of
they
the
get
season
resold
ticket
on
holders.
Ticket Exchange. You know they do.
Well,
And-
I would hazard a guess
P1 Travel.
that most of our fan base don't live anywhere near the stadium. So
Well, look, I'll tell you now. I ain't travelling all the way to Essex from Surrey. Fuck that for a, you know. Let's
You're a
keep
good
it in.
fan, ain't you? You
Yeah.
well
are.
done.
Yeah. Who's to
Certainly
say
is.
Essex? Why? Let's move it to Surrey then, right?
Why?
Let's move it to.
West Ham was an Essex club formed in Essex.
Well, who cares, right?
Well,
Wimbledon was a Wimbledon club before it moved to Milton
what
Keynes.
do you mean, who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares? West
You-
Ham was formed in Essex. West Ham was in the borough of West Ham. Was a county borough of Essex.
It's a stupid question. Sorry,
No,
Adam, but it's a stupid question.
Well, I know it's a stupid question. And he forgot he's on a fucking yellow. I did remind him.
You
Yeah.
did.
But you can't. You've gone from we're my club, this that, and the other, you know, to I'm not going to
London.
travel
We're a
to
London
Essex.
club. We're in a London. We're a London club.
No,
Let's
we're
stay
an
in
East
London.
London club, Sean.
Whatever.
Although I don't think it would work. I mean, you only have to look out
No.
when you look at Gillingham.
Yeah.
No one fucking went. That's a massive catchment area. Why wouldn't people invest in Gillingham? They didn't. Brian
Can
Moore did.
I quickly read out our new listener before we go to predictions? Dean Perryman says, "Good evening, gents, or morning as it is in sunny Sydney. First time pod post, a long
Don't you mean
time
g'day,
listener.
mate?
A moral question. Stick with Sully and the status quo, or have a buyer coming in from a country in the world with questionable human rights issues, aka Newcastle, and shower us with all the wants plus a new stadium. Keep up the good work, gents. Brady in."
Brady out.
Oh, I actually said Brady out, but I wasn't going to say that. So go on then, Nigel. Let's start with you.
Oh, yeah, you can't do it.
Stick with Sully and status quo, or have a Middle East country coming in with questionable human rights.
What about questionable other stuff?
No,
she said,
no, human
she said
rights.
no. What about the old she said
No,
no?
no,
What about the
we're
Me
just
Too
asking.
movement?
We're asking the question from the team.
All right.
Nigel,
Yeah.
stick or twist?
I, if it was a choice between, and I've said this years ago, when I was at my height of anti-Golden Sullivan,
Stick or twist?
that I would stick.
Okay.
That I wouldn't want the Sultan of Brunei
Len,
or anyone
stick or
else.
twist?
My West Ham's gone. You can twist as much as you fucking like.
Okay.
More than Chubby Checker if you like.
Okay, John, twist or stick?
Oh, mate, I'm all about the money.
So you're twisting.
Yeah, you get rid of them and give us a nice stadium.
Well, there you go.
I'm up for that.
It's a stick
But
from
what
me.
if they don't give you a nice stadium?
No.
Well, then I wouldn't be so happy.
Aren't you curious about what Arab arsehole tastes like, Sean?
No.
No? You'll
No.
find out one day, mate, won't you?
Anyway, there you go, Dean. Well done for
Well,
me.
the amount of
and
dates they
Nigel.
eat, mate, I'll tell you.
Anyway, prediction time. We're at 2-hour point, or we're 5 minutes away from the 2-hour point. Quick predictions. John, Olympiacos away if it finishes, and then Everton. Predictions, please.
2-1 to Olympiacos
Jesus.
and 1-0 to West Ham against Everton.
Wow. Nigel.
I think I think actually we'll beat Olympiacos 2-1. And
Okay.
then we'll beat Everton 2-0.
Okay. Len?
2-1-1s. I don't know much about Olympiacos.
Well, they throw over a lot of fireworks, apparently.
Yeah,
I can imagine
think,
it'd be quite an imitating place to go, but I don't imagine they'd be better than us.
yeah, I think the fan base out there need to be a bit
Well,
wary.
they're going to
Greek-
have
the
extra
Greek
police.
Yeah, the Greek league has been rife with hooliganism
Yeah.
for years and
The
years.
police are putting extra protection on. It's just been announced today. I was talking to Andy Sheldon about this, and they are only going to travel. You have to buy travel, and then they're doing the travel to the stadium. They're suggesting you don't go on your own to the stadium.
Yeah.
My prediction is a 1-0 win against Olympiacos, new record of 18 games unbeaten in Europe, and a 1-0 win over the Toffees. And
This is
back to
a
happy
nice
days with the Mosiah.
Can I point out one thing
Go on.
about that, just to make people wary?
Go on.
I think Man City are on 16,
Yeah.
so we need to keep going to keep the
Yeah,
record.
yeah. Good point. I've been Sean. Nigel has been.
Late,
Len has been.
but I'm here.
Yeah, I've been here, tolerant of you.
Oh,
Right,
good.
Sean.
Excellent. John has been.
Sucked into it, ain't I? Really?
Yeah, yeah. No questions tonight,
No.
you said.
No, I had things I got supposed to be doing, which I'm going to go and do.
On you irons. Bye.
Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast. Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast.